Welcome once again back to the lab, y'all. It is your old Professor Pilk, and if this is your first time here, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button. Make sure you guys like the video. Let's jump in. As you guys know, we are in the middle of the Shiny Rayquaza raid. This is a 5-star raid, not a 7-star raid. So when we were dealing with this and when we were initially building this up, there were a few mon that we kind of prepared for this. And I always, in the back of my mind, had planned to do a one-hit KO. That's kind of like the holy grail when it comes to these raid builds, especially solo. Like, a solo one-hit KO is like the end-all, be-all. Finish this in like 1 to 2 minutes and get it over with. So I designed into my original Azumarill build the potential for maybe a one-hit KO, and essentially what that would entail is having 3 other Azumarils, each of them using Tickle to kind of lower his attack stat, and then me being able to terastallize and do one big hit with all of them using Helping Hand. We could, in theory, just absolutely crush our opponent. And absolutely, as you can kind of see here, it's really hard to pull that off because by turn 5, this dude is putting up his barrier, and he is just kind of causing all kinds of havoc. Now, it's not a tough opponent by a long shot, so this is completely doable. There are 0 parts of this that are going to be anything, north of difficult. So to kind of pull this off, what we did is we kind of redesigned the whole approach to this. And in this situation, we're not going after the terastallization. Instead, all 3 other Azumarils are going to be doing Tickle to kind of lower his attack and his defense, so we don't take a huge amount of damage here, because this is not a mon with an insane defense situation. And what I'm doing is I'm using Water Gun just basically to nullify attacks. Now, honestly, I should be attacking the other Azumarils, not really Rayquaza, but it's not doing any damage. It's barely touching him, so for all intents and purposes, this still could one-hit KO. But what we have to do is we have to use Helping Hand without terastallization. So on turn 4 instead of turn 5, everybody's going to Helping Hand, and on turn 3, I'm going to Belly Drum. Then turn 4, hopefully with all the Helping Hands, I will land 1 Play Rough. You'll see here in a moment what this entails. We do need to, tear him down a little bit before we build ourselves up. And like I said, we only have 4 turns to make this happen. So here we're doing a Belly Drum, and then we are going to go ahead and do a Play Rough. And it took him down, no questions asked. But play that back and notice for a moment that nobody's Helping Hand went off. None of the Helping Hands actually did what they were supposed to do. So legitimately, we're just doing regular Azumaril's level damage, and all we have to do is debuff. So that got me thinking. That honestly got me thinking. Is there a mon that can do all of the above and in one go and just do this within 4 turns? We don't have to terastallize, apparently. We do need we need basically 2 double debuffs. We need Belly Drum, and we need some kind of super effective attack. And that got me thinking. That's right, Kamo-o. This Pokemon, it is a Dragon type, so we could get hit pretty hard from some of his Dragon moves, but I think as being level 100 and maxing out attack and defense EVs, I think we can do this. I'll show you the build here at the end of the run, but I think it is well within the realm of defeat here. Now, what we're going to do is turn 1 and turn 2, we're going to Screech. Now, Screech will lower his defense 2-fold. So in other words, instead of where Tickle lowers attack and defense, this just lowers defense twice per turn. So essentially, since he already lowers his defense once, instead of being defense down 6, we're going in defense down 5. Should be plenty. 6 is max anyway, and one of those Tickles in the prior run was wasted to start with. Turn 3, we Belly Drum. Now, I think I did it out of order. I think I did a Screech, Belly Drum, Screech. Doesn't matter. You just need 2 Screeches, 1 Belly Drum. Okay? Once you've got that whole thing built up, once you're right there, then you need to do an Outrage. Now, Outrage is a Dragon type move, but it's also a base power 110. I did a couple of test runs with this, and 9 times out of 10, well, okay, I'll say 4 times out of 5, one-shot him. I did have one where there was a little bit of power left over in him. And what I had to do to take that last little bit of power out was put an Expert Belt on him. Expert Belt will add an extra 20% damage to all super effective attacks. And there we go. One-shot City. We've done no other damage to him. Our partners kind of did do a little bit, but I'll be honest with you, it's about the best solo one-shot that you're going to get. So there you guys go. One-hit KO in Rayquaza. Destroy this guy. Phenomenal. And you can farm this indefinitely just resetting the date on your Switch. Done this about like 10 or 15 times today already. And I'm going to do it quite a few more because this is a great one to farm. Like, share, comment, subscribe. I'll be back real soon with more.